What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're discussing 5 players that very well could be on the New York Mets radar when it comes to the trade market sooner than later, if not already, because the Mets, as is, were already trying to address some players in this lineup, given all their injuries, because they don't just not have 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. They have 14 players at the time of recording this on the actual 10-day or the 60-day IL from the active roster, which is unheard of. So Mets, of course, all these guys are getting hurt. Sadly, we got Michael Conforto out, Jeff McNeil out, to name a few as of late, with 10-day IL stints thanks to a hamstring strain, and they could be out longer than that. They're being evaluated on a week-to-week basis. Now we got Kevin Pillar, who horrendously got drilled in the face with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball. He's on the 10-day IL. He has a broken nose, but hopefully he's not out too long-term, but there's nothing really determined there yet. Either way, the Mets have made it clear now that they are trying to address things, and not just with short-term depth, but possibly long-term too. So I broke up those options here with these 5 players, but the Mets have already started trading for guys already at the time of recording this. Hammer Maben, the veteran 34-year-old outfielder from the Chicago Cubs organization, again for cash considerations, just to add a buy in there, hopefully to have him get some at-bats until some other guys get healed up, because the Mets have literally no one right now when it comes to depth. Get him, he has 100 or so average in AAA this year. Still not a big deal, just adding a body. But make sure you stay all the way until the end of the video, guys, for all the detail on my thoughts on these 5 players and why I think that they could benefit the club and make sense. If you guys end up enjoying this kind of Mets content and want to see more great Mets content like this, please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, share this video with your friends, put on the notification bell, all those great things. Thank you all so much for the countless support, guys. Now let's get right into today's video. To start things off, we have veteran third baseman and outfielder, corner outfielder for the Texas Rangers, that being Charlie Culberson, the 32-year-old. You guys probably remember him during his time the past couple of years with the Atlanta Braves as both a bench piece and as a starter, especially with injuries, but he's also been serviceable during his time with the LA Dodgers. And Culberson, a lot of things that are definitely eye-opening about him. One, he's cheap for a Rangers team that's not going anywhere this season. You can probably get him on a very low cost trade value-wise. 2, he's phenomenal when it comes to playoffs. He's been very consistent. In 21 games played in playoffs for both the Dodgers and the Braves, he has a career .316 average, a .325 on base percentage, an .825 OPS. And he's also a lefty killer, which definitely doesn't hurt anything. He's batting over 400 currently at the time of recording this against lefties during the season. So Charlie Culberson, buy him on the low. You get a guy that can be serviceable off the bench and starting definitely right now. He's not the best glove, but he'll get the job done for what the Mets need right now, and he could be a serviceable bench guy when everyone's healthy, as they head to hopefully have a deep playoff run. Staying in Texas here with the Rangers, we have ourselves another serviceable player, that being in David Dahl, the left fielder and lefty at the plate. He's currently had a phenomenal year during his time with the Colorado Rockies in the first couple years in the league, but really hasn't amounted to much, especially in the 2020 short season. It very much hit him hard when it came to his performance, and now in 2021, he's been batting low when it comes to the average, but he had a career-high season in 2019, batting .302, .353, and having an .877 OPS. Had 15 home runs during his time in Coors. The potential's still there, though, at 27 years of age, and again, another guy where you can buy him on the low, a very serviceable outfielder, corner outfielder, another guy that would make plenty sense, can hit both against righties and lefties decently. He's been pretty underwhelming the past year and a half, but like a lot of other guys since the whole pandemic has started, maybe he'll find some rejuvenation in his career, and the Mets don't need him to do a whole lot, him on a more shorter term solution versus, say, him being a long-term solution, which would not be the case in this situation. Now we're taking things to Detroit for the Tigers here, that being with another outfielder, a switch-hitting outfielder, though, in left field, that being in Robbie Grossman, the 31-year-old who spent plenty of his time with the Oakland A's, first year now with the Detroit Tigers, a switch-hitting guy who, while he isn't too high with his average usually, he does make up for it with his on-base. He's truly doing his best Brandon Nimmo impression. He's 26th in the MLB currently this season for the depleted Detroit Tigers, because they're a team in a full rebuild when it comes to on-base percentage, and he's 6th in all of the MLB. Yes, 6th when it comes to his walks percentage. He's been phenomenal gain on base, takes his base without a problem, is a guy with a strong eye at the plate clearly, and would be very serviceable for the Mets in a lot of ways, and having that versatility to be batting against both righties and lefties really without a problem would make a lot of sense if this is more of a short to midterm solution for the Mets with their injuries, and then to most likely have them off the bench once everyone is fully set and healthy. Now we're heading back to Texas, this time where everything is bigger in Texas. And what is bigger? The bat with this guy, the face of the Texas Rangers franchise right now, that being in Joey Gallo. The monster 6'5", 250-pounder has been in a lot of trade talks the past couple of years. And according to John Heyman here, as you see from the past 24 hours, right after his tweet regarding the Mets, stated how all teams in the market for outfielders are also very much interested in Joey Gallo. So there very well can already be a connection there, which would make sense. And Gallo, he's a heavy hitter. He's a big swing and miss guy. He's already 4th in all the MLB in K percentage. He strikes out quite a bit, but boy, oh boy, whenever he makes contact, it is going at least 500 feet like a piss missile. He has insane power. He can hit lefties as a lefty, which is important, and he has versatility too. This is a guy that was a Gold Glover. He has a strong glove in the outfield back in 2020 short season. He can play in both right, center, and left. You can play third base. You can play first base. Not that he's going to be a star in all these positions defensively, but he will get the job done, and he's currently 8th in all the MLB right now in walks percentage as well. So right by Robbie Grossman. Even though he's striking out a lot, he's also gaining on base a lot too, which is very good to see. And this is also the same Joey Gallo that has really yet to be more consistent. Had back-to-back 40-plus home run seasons with 80-plus RBIs in the 2017 and 2018 year. Again, as long as he puts it all together, there's still so much potential, oozing with potential, is Joey Gallo that could really help the Mets, not just now, but for the foreseeable future. And last but not least, the reason why you probably clicked on this video, and the guy that I discussed more often than not in videos during the offseason because the Mets showed that much interest in him, at least going back and forth, that being in star third baseman for the Chicago Cubs and Kris Bryant. And Bryant, versatility is definitely there with him as well, which makes him so appealing. Not just being a star third baseman, but he can play in the corner outfields. He can even play at first. He's been utilized everywhere already in the beginning of the season for the Cubs. And coming off of a really poor 2020 short campaign, really thanks to injuries, he has looked like his MVP self once again back during his time where he won the MVP in 2016 when the Cubs won it all that year. He's a 3-time All-Star, and this season, he's currently 20th in batting average. He's 21st in on-base percentage, 6th in WOBA, which is weighted on-base average, which means overall offensive contributions per plate appearance. And he's 9th in WRC+, which is weighted runs created. He's 5th in WAR, which is wins above replacement, which is really impressive. And he's 1st in all the MLB right now with extra base hits for 24. So for all my people that like advanced numbers, he's definitely been great in those categories as well. So you get the versatility with a guy like Kris Bryant, and that is what I love most about him. But he's also going to be a pending free agent, so I know the price has been high for him. He's at an all-time high. You can argue, Tyler, you don't want to trade for a guy like him right now because of how well he's performing. He's going to cost a lot, and I know Mets were asked by the Cubs to cough up top prospect in Francisco Alvarez to get a deal done for the rental and Bryant, who's a free agent at the end of the year, and the Mets were simply going to do it. But now it's different. I'm not against them being a little bit more desperate here, not giving up a top prospect like Alvarez, but if you can give up maybe a prospect that's maybe going to be away because of the fact of having Bryant on third, knowing that he doesn't have much of a future with the team, or same thing with another infield option because of Lindor. I'm not entirely against that at the right price because, look, there's two ways to evaluate things with Bryant right now. It's one, you don't want to go for him because he's at an all-time high, or two, which very well could benefit the Mets in this situation, is why not try to get a deal done sooner than later. That way you don't risk his value going any higher, because if he continues this kind of MVP pace, at least through the first half of the season, he's going to be the hottest commodity at the trade deadline, and there's going to be more than just the Mets trying to get in a bidding war after him when it comes to trade offers. So in my mind, this would make a lot of sense for the Mets. Whether or not they're going to do it is a different story, but they've been linked with Bryant for so long. We talked about him so many times, and it's fun to actually pick things up now. So guys, let me know in the comments down below, who do you think out of any of these would be the best fit for the Mets? Do you like these options? Do you not like these options? What players would you pick if you had to give it an actual pick for any of them? And some honorable mentions as well, guys. 3 players that kind of just missed the list, but are definitely guys that would make sense for the Mets at the right price. Adam Frazier, who's been an absolute stud, the second baseman and corner outfielder, can play in right field, that being for the Pittsburgh Pirates, the biggest bright spot there this season, batting over 300. You got other guys like Josh Rojas, a second baseman, 26 years of age with the Diamondbacks. He's been doing really well his first breakout year and can also play the corner outfield as well. And then you also have a couple more guys in there too, but those two really stood out to me for sure. And even Max Kepler, the German that is with the Minnesota Twins, outfielder, is more one-dimensional. He can't really hit lefties too much. He's definitely a righty guy more than anything because he's a left-handed hitter, but still plenty of options. So let me know in the comments below which one of these, if at all, makes most sense for you. And if you guys ended up enjoying this Mets content again and want to see more great Mets content like this, please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, share this video with your friends, put on the notification bell, all those great things. It's been so much fun being on the channel. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, guys, I'm out of here. Let's go Mets, baby.